Dear children of the world, Your Excellency, the President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee ji, His Holiness Dalai Lama ji, my fellow laureates, Excellencies, sisters and brothers. Today is a very auspicious day, an historic day as well. When I got up and I was reading a newspaper, and there was a news, President of India turns 81. And coincidentally, when I looked at that paper, it was lying in front of a mirror. So 81 looked, if you look 81 into the mirror, what does it look like? 18. So though he turns 81, but his spirit, his soul, and his compassion for children and his energy is 18. So I would like to congratulate him and wish him on behalf of millions of children in the world. It's a historic day because in the human history, never witnessed before, that 100 million young people are going to commit themselves to be the partners of change. Many of you thought that there is a hero in many of these laureates and leaders gathered here. Many of you might have thought that there is a hero in Kailash Satyarthi or in a film star, Bollywood or Hollywood. But it is not true. You are going to make it farce. The reality is that we are going to see heroes among 100 million people like you, 100 million young children like you. There is a hero inside each one of you. You need not to look any hero outside. Because heroes, when they perform in cinema, any good thing, any good act, they charge money for that. If they bow down in front of their own parents, we clap and say, oh, how good is this hero. He is so rich, but he is lying down in the feet of his mother. They are inspirational. These acts are inspirational. But when you do some good act, do you charge any money? Yes or no? You do on your own. When you see that any child is being harassed or facing any problem, violence, under any kind of suffering, you feel for that child? And you charge any money from anyone? That feeling of compassion makes you hero. And you wanted to see the change in the lives of those children, and that makes you hero. So there is a change maker, a champion, and hero in each one of you. 100 million for 100 million campaign just wanted to remind you this only one thing, that there is hero in you, you and you. 100 million children in the world are suffering. They are victims of violence, they are denied education, and so many other things which we spoke in last 2 days in the Laureates and Leaders Summit. But I have experience. I have learned in my life working with billions of children directly in over 100 countries in last 30 years. I met millions of young people like you. And that made to believe that I need not to go anywhere. If I go to the young people, the pure power, the energy, the idealism, the enthusiasm, the change lies in them. And that inspired me to launch this 100 million for 100 million campaign. And we are so privileged to have the President of the largest democracy of the world to flag it off. Is it not a great occasion? It's very significant. India, which is a land of wisdom, compassion and love and brotherhood, and the most vibrant and the largest democracy, is behind this campaign. And that's very, very remarkable. In Hindi, I will tell a story and you will understand, because thousands of young people are listening outside and thousands of young people are listening in their schools. It is also being webcasted, so maybe millions of people are watching it in India and across the world. So for Indian children, एक छोटी सी लड़की आज 15 साल की है, राजस्थान के गांव हीसला में पहले बाल मजदूरी करती थी। थोड़ा सा मौका उसे मिला, स्कूल में गई, हम लोगों ने उसको वहाँ से आज़ाद कराया, स्कूल में भेजा। अब थोड़े दिन बाद स्कूल में उसने देखा कि उसकी शादी होने वाली है और उसकी बहन की भी शादी होने वाली है। उस लड़की ने बचपन बचाओ आंदोलन के साथ इतना जरूर सीख लिया कि बाल मजदूरी के अलावा बाल विवाह भी बुरी बात है, ये बर्दाश्त नहीं है। पायल ने उठ के खड़े होकर कहा, आज से 2 साल पहले, 2.5 साल पहले, मैं अपनी शादी नहीं होने दूंगी और अपनी बहन की भी शादी नहीं होने दूंगी। अब राजस्थान के गांव में जहां बाल विवाह आम बात है, माँ बाप बहुत नाराज हुए, दादा दादी और ज्यादा नाराज हुए। ऐसे मौकों पे दादा दादी ज्यादा नाराज हो जाते हैं ना, तो काफी उसको डांट लगी, लेकिन उसने कहा नहीं, ये नहीं होगा। एक लड़की उस समय 13 साल की थी, पूरे विरोध के बावजूद उठ के खड़ी हुई, अपनी ताकत के साथ उठ के खड़ी हुई कि मैं शादी नहीं होने दूंगी। और नतीजा ये हुआ कि ये बात फैल गई पूरे गांव में, और गांव से फैलते फैलते वो उस गांव में जा पहुंची, ये खबर जिस गांव का वो दूल्हा होने वाला था, लड़का। अब बताओ, भारत में कौन इस लड़की से शादी करेगा जो इतनी विद्रोही हो? तो दूल्हे वालों ने और दूल्हा ने कहा कि भगवान बचाए, ऐसी लड़की से हमें शादी नहीं करनी। तो पायल की शादी रुक गई। और पायल की शादी नहीं रुकी, पायल की देखा देखी आसपास के 10 गांवों में 2.5 साल में कोई बाल विवाह नहीं हुआ। एक लड़की की ताकत, ये ताकत आप लोगों में है। धीरे मत बोलो, शर्माओ नहीं। मैंने कह दिया कि हमारे राष्ट्रपति जी को थोड़ा चश्मे उल्टी तरफ से देखोगे ना तो 18 साल के लगेंगे। तो बताइए, है आप में अंदर ताकत? किस किस में ताकत है? हाथ ऊपर करो। 3 करोड़ नौजवान भारत के इस ताकत के साथ उठ के खड़े होंगे अगले 5 साल में, और 10 करोड़ बच्चे और नवयुवक नवयुवतियां दुनिया से उठ के खड़े होंगे। This is 100 million for 100 million campaign. We wanted to create a new civilization, a new culture, a new world order, where 100 million left out children and 100 million better off children do not go in 2 diverse directions and create much more inequality, much more disparities in the world. We wanted to connect them. 100 million children and young people be connected with 100 million left out young people. And that is one way of globalizing compassion. Compassion which is a power, which is a wealth in each one of us. And more importantly, the young people who are full of energy but also full of pure compassion. That compassion should not be lost. The child inside our young children must not be lost. Even the child inside the adult people like us must not be lost. Because that child has simplicity, the child had power, the child had transparency, the child has forgiveness. That should not be lost. And that's why we wanted to keep it. Do you want to see a world where no child is enslaved? Do you want to see that world? Do you want to see a world where every child is receiving the best quality education as you and I did receive? Do you want to see a world where there is no border, there is no wall, there is no division for children in the world? The childhood is beyond the border. The childhood is beyond all these walls of religions and cultures and languages. Let us preserve that childhood. We cannot think a world without children. So how we can think a world without childhood? That is not possible. We all commit ourselves that we have to make the world to listen to the silence, to the sound of silence, which once I said that I represent. We wanted to make a world where all of you become the faces of invisibility. And once I said that I wanted to represent that invisibility. And I wanted to see the world where all of us share love and compassion and power and wealth, so that the new generation would be a generation which will not be depend on the adults' mercy, the powers and institutions' mercy, the governance mercy. They will take the rein in their hands. You are the one you have to sit on the driving seat. You are change. You are change. You are change. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, distinguished leaders of the Child Summit. I am delighted to launch the historic campaign 100 million for 100 million, led by Nobel Peace Prize winner Shri Kailash Satyarthi and his organization, the Kailash Satyarthi Children's Foundation from Rashtrapati Bhavan, an institution which symbolizes our Republic's commitment to democracy, pluralism and secularism. Over the last 2 days, eminent gathering of world leaders and thinkers has deliberated on creating a child-friendly society where every child is safe, free, healthy and educated. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, despite the progress the world has made in science and technology, economic development, and in other fields of human endeavour, there are still over 100 million children who are out of school and are being denied their childhood and are facing exploitation in various ways. The mankind must realize without any further delay that there can be no progress unless our children are safe and secure, unless they are provided the freedom and opportunity to become agents of change for the larger good of humanity, to ensure for them a bright, carefree and secure future devoid of poverty, violence, and want, is our bounden duty. The global effort to mobilize 100 million youth for shaping a better future for 100 million children who are less privileged is the beginning of a change which was long overdue. It is only appropriate that the campaign begins from India, which has one of the largest populations of youth in the world. I have great pride in launching this campaign from the soil of our country. It is my hope that this campaign, as it turns for 5 years, will have a path-breaking impact on the lives of children across the globe. I take this opportunity to urge all children and young people from India and abroad to join this campaign and be the torchbearers for a vibrant, compassionate, and happy world where every child is free from want, fear, and exploitation. Jai Hind.